Hey, Cannonball Nation. It is January 23rd, 2025, and we are broadcasting live from Rebecca's car on the way to Dallas for a Blue Cross event. Now, I've warned everybody in the room, but if you're joining us, I may pause it because I'm going to have to do a Chinese fire drill, and but we'll be right back if that happens. So don't stress. So today on the agenda, I want to talk about a couple things. One thing Kate brought up in the Uh, no, excuse me. Off topic. Hold on. Reverse. Stop. Pause. I got my days mixed up. That's a different day. Today, we are talking about the word of the year, right? The word of the year. And I set my tone of my whole business for the year by this one simple word. And it seems silly, but it gives you a key focal point for the entire year. And everything you do around it is supposed to improve your business or build the business that you want or fix the problems that you need fixed because in the back of your mind, does this do that? And last year, my word was declutter. I went through a decluttering phase, my house, my personal life, the office, staffing, systems, all the things, right? Personal, professional, emotional. My word was declutter. And it was a wonderful feeling taking those things and getting them out, just moving them out, right? And quit worrying about them. This year, though, my word is very different. We are hyper focused on some things. And my word of the year, personally, is efficiency. So, what does that mean for y'all? When my word of the year is efficiency, that means our systems and processes are going to get super, super efficient. They're going to get very drilled down. They're going to get very strategic. And with efficiency comes streamline processes. I have been forced a little bit, but I think it'll be good. Hired a back end team for our boss system. They're super go high level professionals in the insurance space. It's something I was doing last weekend, and y'all might be very familiar with this group. Justin Brock and Go Guru. I have convinced them to his whole tech team to freelance for me. Of course, with a charge, everything with a charge, but that's okay. It's worth it to freelance for me to ultimately take our boss system that's running, but take it to a whole nother level to help me with my systems and my processes. Because one thing that group over there is really good at is they're techie, right? They're techie, they're smooth, they're quick. There's just a lot of young guys over there that really understand this. And I am going to leverage their knowledge. So, over the next few months, first and foremost, boss is going to have a lot of changes. Right now, we're just digging in with the team and showing them what I have and showing them what I don't like ultimately, because it's not supposed to be that way, but we haven't been able to fix the problem. What I don't like. And then once we get that straight, then we're going to start building to it. And you're going to love it. One of the big differences between my vision, though, and their vision is they're all lead orientated, right? They use their system 100% for leads, lead flows, automation. They don't use their system for their CRM. They actually use a completely different system. They use Agency Block. They still use Agency Block as their official CRM. But my vision for Boss is to be able to marry a CRM to a lead funnel. Because in the way I run my business, I believe in the clients first. I am super customer service orientated. I like to have notes on the individual clients. I like to know what's going on with my people. So our system, which has already started to be more that way, will continue. So even though we're going to get some back end help, I am not losing my vision of a CRM first. I want to have a one place for all of it. That was part of my thing last year. I was running 5 CRMs for different things. That's the decluttering phase, right? Well, we got rid of everything, but now I have a system that works to some degree. If you've never had a system before, it's wonderful. But for those of you that have had systems fully established, it's a little clunky still. So we are going to streamline the system. This first 90 days, we're digging into Boss heavy and hard. And you'll see tons of updates. So follow along for that. So that's first and foremost on my efficiency calendar, which you all will reap the benefits for. Now, just a little 411. I'm not going to get into it, but just to let you know, part of the reason I had to hire an outsourcing team is because DeLawrence is no longer with us. He had to go back to North Carolina. He has some personal business. Ultimately, that's going to pull him away for an extended period of time. That does not work for me. Everything is all fine and dandy. There is no animosity or anything like that, so don't worry about that. But ultimately, he is no longer with us. He has to take care of his business, and that is fine. I'm just thankful it was January and not October when things come up. But with that, it forced me more into our system because I had a vision, but I was secondary to it, right? Because I put him in charge of it. And now I'm in there and I'm realizing I don't like this. I don't like that. I want this smoother. I want that faster. I want this in here. I want this over there. And so it costs me to go outsource it. But I have an entire team now, also working with Darrell, which some of you are probably familiar with Darrell and myself. And I hired another tech person. So expect good things coming out of Boss soon, sooner than later. I have a Q1 goal to go 100% paperless in my office. When we talk about efficiency, when somebody touches the paper 5 times to ultimately get it where its final destination is, that is super inefficient and super time consuming. Now, I'm old school, come there was a big realization this year and this looking at the amount of files we have stacked in our back office right now, that this is a massive drain on my business. So for those of you who are in the same boat, you're going to learn with me how to go paperless, which will also save you tons of time and energy down the road. So that is the goal of Boss, is to have it to where we can be 100% paperless. So that means you're going to be 100% paperless, which means when you build and you grow and you hire people, you can hire those people all over the world because you're 100% paperless and you don't have to have people sitting in your office. For some of you, that'll make hiring a whole lot more simple. It'll help also with the pricing of hiring because now you can hire people maybe in lesser economic areas to where your dollar goes farther, even if it's in the US. Believe me, Arkansas, the dollar's worth more than Florida. I promise. Right? And there's plenty of smart people in Arkansas. Don't kid yourself. So that's part of the efficiency. And now we're going into our official timeout, as I told you. So just bear with me. Now y'all got to see this car load we got going on. We got back here. Karen. All right, guys. I'm glad you were entertaining them, Mark. Thank you for that. So
they were suffering
back
through.
to back to what I was talking about efficiency and how we are going to change the Boss system for the better and make everybody paperless. We're going to be 100% paperless in the office, which means we're going to teach you all how to be paperless. And that's going to lead to hiring opportunities that are going to be easier for those, especially those of you that don't have an office, because you can hire across the country and find better places where employees don't cost as much money to help you grow your business. Maybe LOAs don't cost as much money, right? Because they're in an area where the cost of living is a lot less. So my word is efficiency. It's going to be the boss, paperless for quarter one. Quarter two, I'm going to be more deliberate with my time as far as efficiency and the events I'm going to attend. We get stuck sometimes. I'm as guilty as other, trying to do everything, saying yes to everything. And you get to a point that, yes, that grows your business and that gets you out there. But then you get to a point where you are so overwhelmed and you're coming and going all at the same time and you don't know which way's up, right? So quarter two, I'm going to drill down on my time and on my time and where I'm going specifically, what events I'm attending, what cities I'm going to do trainings. We're going to get very efficient. We're going to find roadmap to where I can get to the most people in one area instead of trying to hop to multiple cities. We're going to get very efficient in our office. We're making to the point
Driver
by doing that, I tell you how to do this. Because until you've done it, you can't really teach. I know there's a lot of people out there teaching on things, but if you actually, they haven't done it. And I promise you, doing it and visualizing and theoretical is very different, and it's a whole lot harder. So my word is efficiency. What is your word going to be for 2025? Do you piece to build? Are you a creator? Are you wanting to find your life again? Everybody on this call is in a very different position than the and you need to decide what 2025 is going to look like for you. Thrive. That's a great word, Candace. Thrive. Now, what I want you to do when you guys have your word, I hope you have a piece of paper out, because when you guys have your word, I want you to put it in the center of the piece of paper. And I want you to draw a circle around. Because that word is going to be your heartbeat for 2025. Now, from your heartbeat, I want you to draw lines out from it, kind of like a giant sun or something. Put as many out there, 10, 12, 15, 20, it don't matter. Put a bunch.
I was like, you want me to put my arms there?
And then now on your arms, each one, I want you to write an idea right now on how or thrive. How are you going to thrive? What does that mean to you? Do I want to thrive personally? Do I want to thrive in my business? Just thriving mean growing my book? Does thriving mean finding peace in my life? Like, are we growing a specific line of business? How are we growing? Are we adding LOAs? Are we having service people? Are we hiring VAs? Are we hiring staff? Are we going to open an office building? Are we going to add another state? Are we going to add another line of business? How are we going to achieve our heartbeat for 2025?
Well, I'm planning on growing around my middle. Does that count?
If that's what you want to do. I've already done it this open enrollment. I don't want to get it. It needs to do carnival marks so I can get open enrollment stuff. I gotta get that off and actually trying to listen flex. So somebody's goal might be to be healthy. And there's nothing wrong with that because everybody's in different place in our business, right? But you're going to put your word in the center, and that's going to be your literally everything you think of moving to the future. How does this help me? Is this leading to growth? Is this leading to thrive? For me, is this making us more efficient? Because if it's not, then I don't need to do it. It's that simple. If this doesn't lead me to the goal for the year, then why am I doing it for? It's time sucked. Yeah, if you're doing it because you're on vacation and it's what you want to do on vacation, that's fine, right? I'm not saying you can't live your life here, but it needs to be the entire vision for the year needs to be around what you want to do. Ebony, for instance, she's a really great ACA writer. She's newer on the Medicare side. She may be very more specific. It's not just growth, but it's Medicare growth specifically. And that's great because the more drilled down you can get it, the easier it is to get very serious on how we're going to make this happen. I would love to hear some of y'all's and your ways of making it happen.
This is Tina, and my word is educate. Something I've thought about only based on the open enrollment that we just went through. A lot of people do not understand insurance, and it's just something that's very important to me. I want to educate the community. Some of my arms basically are build a webinar, meet people through other sources, train myself, in webinars, not webinars, but podcast, just wherever I can find the literature to make sure I'm staying on top of the game. And pray, of course. And it's very important to me to laugh and enjoy and have fun with what I'm doing. So those are some of the things I've put down.
Did y'all notice that? Does anybody just hear? Did you hear what I just heard? See if anybody caught it. Did you hear how emotional she was about that topic? You could hear it in her voice. This is super passionate for her and super deep-seated. And I've had some conversations with her over the open enrollment, so I know where this is coming from. I mean, last year, with all the changes, it's a shit show out there. Let's be honest. And it's just going to get worse. Now, what you may not know about Tina is she's actually a nurse. What you may not know about Tina, up until about 6 months ago, she would refuse to offer a Medicare Advantage plan because she herself was not educated well enough on the plan to feel comfortable. And I get that, especially in her market where she's at. So I love the fact that not only does she want to educate her people, but she also wants to educate herself. And I think we can all learn from that because no matter where we are in this business, we are all still growing. We are still all learning. I was on a training today at noon myself. In fact, I have a fun little meme I'm going to post about it probably this week. We should all be learning to grow and educating ourselves and evolving. But I love the passion she has behind that because she has so much passion, because there's so much heart there, she's going to accomplish it because she has an underlying drive that means so much to her because she wants to educate people to protect them. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Rebecca.
Karen. Of course. I'm going to pick on you, Karen. I want to know what your word is.
Of course you are. Well, I was debating between freedom and thriving, because, freedom, I have the freedom to come to an office, that's my office, and I get to watch 75, which hopefully y'all aren't going to be on 75, because it's stopped. But I settled on thrive because it's like, I want to thrive in this new space that I'm creating for me. And I'm wanting to, in doing that, I know I need to become more efficient. And it's like, I want to make sure that I get my system set up correctly this time. And where I do it once and then set it up so then I can just send out an email with a video that says, here's the way you do it. So I can create the video of, here's your options for Medicare if you want to go the sub side or the advantage side, where that's already done. And so I do have one video on YouTube where I do explain the different, ABCs. But I want to make it more, more fun, and then break it down, into smaller chunks. So, but yeah, so thriving definitely is
Thriving. So I would challenge you to get more deliberate in your bullet points on how you're going to thrive. Okay. Drill it down even farther. That's the only hard thing about a heartbeat like Thrive. Thrive is great. Don't get me wrong. But Thrive can go a lot of different directions. And from there, I think you have to really pay attention to your bullet points and make sure your bullet points are really drilled down. And ultimately, it's going to lead you to thriving, right? That's the goal. Lead you to thriving, but get really drilled down on your bullet points so you know exactly how you're going to get there. Good. Brandon, I know you sneak in here from time to time. I'm going to pick on you. What is your heartbeat for 2025?
I've been a labor intensive guy my whole entire life, and this is the first year. So peace is my circle word that I'm a grow around, because every year I miss out on my kids coming down for the summer. And this year will be the first year, June and July, that I'll be able to take off. And we have some camping trips. And yeah, just peace. Peace is my inner circle right now.
Peace is great. And I love that you already have something very specific on there for June and July. But what are you going to do between January and May, and then from August to December to keep the peace? If peace is your key, we got to be thinking about it all year long. It's not just 1 month, right? We can have peace for a month, but if we don't have peace for a lifetime, then we didn't achieve our 2025 goal. So I keep working on that. Put in things in your monthly routine that's going to drive peace to you, to your home, to your family, to where it's sustainable. Who else wants to go? Where are we going? American Airlines. Anybody brave enough? Ebony, go for it.
What I wrote down is foundation. I need to strengthen my business as far as the back office, and my focus this year is on my Medicare book. I feel like I'm not organized enough, and so that's probably where I struggle because I'm not organized. So I want to be more organized. So when I do bring on agents, the foundation of my business is strong.
Did we just lose her?
Yep, I think she just fell off.
She lost. Oh, she's back. She's as bad as I am, coming and going.
I'm sorry,
Ebony, we lost you.
my computer did a reboot on me.
No worries.
Yes.
You were saying about foundation?
Yes, foundation. So I want to build a strong foundation so I can grow. And the focus this year is my Medicare. Medicare is my focus this year.
I had a feeling. Something was telling me that. I ultimately love this word, foundation. How good of a word is that, honestly, right? And it doesn't matter if you're newer in the business or been in this a minute. you can't truly grow to what you want to be if you don't have a solid foundation underneath you. So I absolutely love that word, Ebony. That will be a heck of a 2025. Make sure you get your bullet points around it and
Okay.
really start to focus on the foundation, like the building blocks of it. And when you're talking about, growing into Medicare, some of those foundation points, first and foremost, you got to get in front of people. That's a huge foundation. I already know you're good at systems, right? So your systems are probably there. And then with what we're doing with ours, it'll just make them even better, stronger. But your foundation is you really need to start figuring out where you're going to find your people, and you got to build those foundations in those places, whether it's senior centers. I know you like to do homeless shelters, retail. You got to really build that initial marketing foundation, because I think that's where you're probably your weakest link as of right now. Because I know you're strong with product and I know you're strong with systems. So we need to really focus on our marketing foundation and really start creating a brand, because foundation is really good for a brand, right?
Okay.
And start really figuring out how to build our brand and start showing up every month to the same place. Build that foundation where those people count on you and you're always going to be there.
Okay.
I love that word. There's so much play. Build a foundation. I think you could really get a ton of ideas around that word. So I love that.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
20 toward left instead of.
Anybody else want to go? Candace, Mark, Regina, you guys are quiet today.
Well, I did Thrive also, but so I thought since she already did it, I wasn't going to expand on it. I have
No,
two.
that's not true. That's not fair. Because your vision of thriving and her vision of thriving could be very different visions, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll share. So I put grow my client base, manage my time well by doing the correct events, the right events, increase my social media presence. I want to thrive in my marriage. I want to thrive in my prayer life and automating tasks. So those are my points that I put around thrive.
Great. So in the thriving concept, usually when people choose thrive, I've noticed over the years, when they choose that as their word of the year, there is more to it than just their business. A lot of people, when they choose the word thrive, they not only, yes, want to grow and thrive in their business, but usually there's a personal aspect of that when you choose that word. So keep that thriving in your business. There's probably some piece in there that also wants you to thrive in the personal side. So make sure you keep that in mind and make sure you're thriving in both sides.
Okay, thanks.
Regina, I heard you were trying to chime in. Go for it, sweetie.
I thought I got away. I have two words because for me they go together. Because I
You
need
always
both.
have to be different. Or a
No.
high achiever. Actually, no, you're always like the super high achiever. I'm not going to do one word this year. I'm going to do two.
Two. Because for one to work, I need the other, and vice versa. Vice versa. So the first one is growth, and the second one is focus. So growth, I am going to target T65s. I'm good at seminars. That is my niche. I'm going to host more. I'm going to invite T65 members. I'm going to do those seminars. I'm going to, when we did the bingo goes, I am going to work on expanding to not just Houston, but to areas that are underworked. I'm going to go to as many networking events that I can find that would apply to me or would help me. And I'm going to make changes that I have to make in order for myself to grow. So focus, I've done this because at home, I have 2 dogs. I have laundry. I have friends that work from home. I have people that don't have jobs or truck driver friends. And so I have acquired a small office space where I can go and focus solely on work instead of all the distractions that come along at home. The office space also has area where I can do my seminars without having to go and find and beg restaurants and want to buy food and all that kind of stuff that comes with that. And it has the equipment and all that. I am trying my best to make a list of carrier sales brokers, managers, all those ones that call me and ask me what they can do for me. I am gonna give them a
He's on
job
the
now.
silver plan, not the gold.
So, because I want to know where these areas are that are
If
underworked.
he
So
really wants to go to
I
the
get
gold
from,
plan,
I
he
don't know.
can, but it'll be worse
So
and
I'm
more
doing
expensive.
that. I'm
Don't think
going
there's
to
an actually
focus
free.
also by
Go back.
figuring out what
That one
people
was.
I
I
asked you for sure if you wanted
remove
the gold cars or not.
from my
You
life,
did first. No. So
personally,
yeah. Why can you all please
professionally,
like take the gold car?
acquaintance wise, or anything else, and replace them with
Like
spirituality
Delta because everybody else.
so that I can grow in my own mindset as well and my own individual growth. Because my goal, I have a goal, which I won't share yet, but I have a goal that I want to accomplish by 2027. So focus and growth, and I need both together. And I know I'm an overachiever. I can't help it.
Awesome. The office is gonna be a game changer. It was for me way back when. And whether you open a brick and mortar type office space or just have an office space to go concentrate where focus on your business, it makes all the difference in the world. I'm a true believer in that. So kudos to you for getting that office, putting yourself in a place where you could have that mindset so you can actually focus on your growth. I love that. And I think I have an idea what your goal might be.
Well, I have several goals. As you stated, I am an overachiever. When I do something, I believe in go big or go home. I'm in it to win it. I don't believe in failure. I have a saying and I live by it. You can ask anyone that I know. Only thing that comes to sleepers is dreams. So I figure out what I need to do, how to do it, whatever it is, and I go for it. And if I say, Tom, Dory, Rebecca, this is what I want to do, point me in the direction, and you tell me to go over there and build a house because that's what I'm going to have to do. It may be a stick house, but you're going to come find a house. Maybe made of cardboard, but it's going to be a house over there.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kate loves it too. Awesome. Okay, so you guys have homework tonight. You are going to, if you haven't done it yet, or if you started it, great. But it's not just, let's write a word down and yeah, that sounds good. I want you to really think about this. I want you, whatever your thing is. For me, it was glass of wine in a quiet room, potentially in my bathtub with bubbles, maybe. I'm not going to tell you if that's the way it was or not, but you have to find your space. Maybe it's light a candle. For the guys in the room, maybe it's going for a jog. Whatever your space is, I want you to clear your mind and think about this word and what this word means to you, when it means to your business. And then I want you to get the piece of paper back out and I want you to brain dump, or if you're digital, just dump it into a Google Sheet. Brain dump everything you can think of that's going to get you to where you want to be in 2025. I have an entire Google sheet going right now that I just keep doing it. I keep brain dumping in. To me, that's what January is for, is to brain dump everything you want to get done in the year. And then you have your sheet, you have your line items that go around the year you want, and you just start going down and checking them off. I know things can be overwhelming, but when you get it down on a piece of paper, your vision for your year, the things you want to do, and now it's just a checkbox, right? And as you start doing them, you just check them off. That one's done, check. That one's done, check. And all of a sudden, this year, that this initial thought process of year that you thought was super overwhelming, it's just line items. And that's all really it comes down to. We want the right line items to produce the right results that we want for our year. But first, you have to envision the year. Then you need to brain dump the year. And then you need to get to work. If anybody has the brave to post this or share it with me, please do. We can talk about it on private calls, how to get you there. Want to set up that call, just get on my calendar and set up that call, and we can dig into your sheet specifically. I have some very strategic things planned over the next few weeks. The next thing we're doing, I believe it was Pam's request. Next week, we're going to go over the 12-year cycle, plant cycle, but I'm going to expand on that. We're going to go over into our lead cycle, then we're going to go to the client retention cycle, and then we're also going to show you our marketing cycle for the year. That's what's going to be next week, so that should be a very good call for some of you, because we're going to talk about our lead cycle, our retention cycle, and our marketing cycle for the year. Anybody have any questions or thoughts they want to share?
Rebecca, hi, it's Renee.
Hi, I saw you
Hi.
pop in, but I wasn't sure if you were able to talk. So I don't know
I'm
your new
here.
setup now.
I'm here. I had a question for Kentucky.
Okay.
I've heard some horror stories about getting on the exchange there. Any feedback on Kentucky?
They're not wrong. It's horrible. We've been trying to
Oh,
get Emily through it for like 3 months, and she's still trying to get on the thing.
oh, gee. Okay. All right. Well,
But
anybody?
if you want specific help with it, if you're gonna do it, Hunter in my office knows
Okay.
more about it than anybody, and he's been helping Emily. And I'm talking about Trevino Emily.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It's a pill.
Okay. All right. I'm going to need Kentucky. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Hey, how's the weather there? Did you get a bunch of snow?
It's cold. I mean, it's cold, but got a little bit of snow last week. Just got back from Ohio. That's even colder.
They keep promising snow here, and then just like, nah, we're just gonna be cold. It snows in Houston, it
No,
snows in Galveston, it
it's
snows in Destin, but we don't see any snow here.
yeah, no, it snows on the beach. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, this crazy weather is nuts. Yep. Nope. So just cold.
Well, stay warm. You're
will.
welcome, Brandon. Find your peace. I can't wait to see your guys' years develop. I did this last year. It really helped put the right mindset in place for me for the year. And again, if you're late to the call, my word of the year is efficiency. And the first thing we're tackling is our goal is to go paperless by Q1. And that entire system will be in the new boss system for any of you all to use once we get it mapped out and implemented.
Hey, Rebecca, it's Tina. I wanted to ask you, the form that you gave us to fill out for our potential leads and to make sure that we were completing all of our sales process correctly?
Oh, the tracker, yeah.
Yeah, the tracker. How are you viewing that, or is that just for our own records?
I will have it tied to a back end grid, so we can talk about your closing ratio, where your lead sources are coming from, how to grow more in those lead sources that you're closing the most consistently. So yes, there will be eyes on it besides you.
Okay, thank you.
It is a tool to help you guys grow your business. It's very strategic. You may not see it quite yet on the front. I've implemented in the office as well, and we were looking at the results yesterday, and it's really quite interesting when you start to see the close ratio on who's closing the business to the ratio they're doing it, and then you compare that to the actual lead source. And we will be doing all that part for you, and you guys will get nice little charts and graphs down a little later. Once you get enough data in there, then we can dig into it. And then for those of you that have teams and LOA specifically that are selling, we'll add those on your sheet too, and then you can monitor your team to see who has a higher closing ratio, who's working the leads properly, what leads are working for your team the best, things like that. There's going to be a lot of good insight with that tracker down the road.
Awesome. Thank you.
Rebecca, this is Ebony. I have a question. I heard someone say finding underserved areas. How do we go about finding those areas in our community?
So, I mean, I would, I would start there, Ebony. Though most of those people that are
I couldn't hear you.
65 or seniors, and some
Okay.
of them don't. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. You're kind of freezing up.
Are you there?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you.
Okay. So since you already have it in the homeless shelter, you might be amazed how many of the homeless people eligible for Social Security check that aren't even drawing it because they don't know how to apply.
Okay.
So if you can go in there with a laptop and help these people apply for their benefits, then they can get their Medicare benefits and then they can get a plan. And they probably already have Medicaid, but they may not
Mm-hmm.
have this ultimately your own community. Think of uh, American Indian and the Alaska Native market. That is still
Okay.
a very untapped market. If you have those
Okay.
in your area, or if you know parks, to have like on the dual side, right? They just adding two. So when I talk about, or when I think about going into a niche market, I am looking for a market that is underserved. It could be underserved for a lot of different reasons. It could be a language barrier, it could be an income barrier, it could be a location barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, that's what you got to think of. Find places that have a larger group of people that are not being served efficiently, properly, or at all.
Okay.
Oklahoma is a very underserved market in my experience. The whole state's underserved.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you.
This is going to be an actual training down the road because it was requested, but that should kind of get your wheels turning.
Okay. It does.
Any other questions today, you guys? Right. Well, if anybody has anything else for me, your homework, get your grid of the year, find your sanctuary spot to really envision it, and then brain dump it. Just get line item after line item after line item. You're building an entire year. Five line items is not enough. You should have 50, 60, 70 line items. We're talking a year. And then don't be afraid if you're, after you do that, a week later, if you have another idea, just go put it on that sheet that you created. If they keep coming to you, just keep writing down. But when you first initially brain up, you should have several coming out of you right then. But then if you come up with something else, just go back to the sheet and write it down before you forget it. That's what I forget to do sometimes. I got to get it wrote down before I forget it. And then you work off your sheet. Hope this helps. I can't wait to see your year. develop. And we'll see you all next week. If you need me, you know where to find. Thank you guys.
Thank you.